AMD keeps quiet on a feature they implemented in their new drivers. They also might be selling off Xbox Series X's on the down low, as well as Bitcoin having a crazy weekend. Let's get into the hot news, my friends. I'm your host, Brett. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet, and let's start off with the story about AMD sneaking some stuff into a driver that you think they would boast about, because it's actually a good thing. This isn't some sort of like nefarious driver crap that they Trojan horsed on you. No, apparently, according to an exclusive report by Tech PowerUp, AMD snuck in power consumption improvements into the latest 21.4.1 drivers, which can improve the power consumption of their latest Navi graphics cards by 72% when at idle, which you can see here is significant drops, especially in the realms of the 6900 XT, going from 25 watts of idle power consumption down to 5 watts. Now, Tech PowerUp speculates that one of the reasons why AMD didn't comment on this is because even with a 72% improvement, it's still not as good as NVIDIA. On the media playback power draw usage, the Navi cards were seeing a 35 watt power draw, which is remarkably better than it was previously, but the RTX 3080 only does it at 27 watts. So that might be why AMD decided not to talk about it. Maybe they were getting around to it, but you want better power draw on your AMD cards, which you don't have because they're not in stock anywhere. Install the latest drivers, my friends. AMD getting better at drivers. Who knew? And who knew you could save so much money with today's episode sponsor of Hot News, Ting? I did, because I'm switched to Ting. Because with the plans that Ting now has, cutting your phone bill in half is easier than ever. For low data users and families, you got the Flex plan, which is $10 a month for unlimited talk and text, and then just $5 a gigabyte. But if you want unlimited, you can get that for as little as $45 a month, or you can get 5 gigabytes for $25 a month. And best of all, you still get the same top-rated customer service you'd expect from Ting with no contracts and nationwide coverage, not to mention Discord support in case you want to get it over there. And it's simple to switch to Ting. All you do is go to hotnews.ting.com to check your current phone, create an account, pick the plan that's right for you. Ting will send you a SIM card and you just pop it into your new phone. Pretty much any phone will work with Ting, whether it's the latest iPhone, the latest Pixel, the latest Galaxy, what have you. And if you go to hotnews.ting.com, you can get a $25 service credit when you sign up with them. I love their new prices, $45 for unlimited. Heck yes, I'll take that. Hotnews.ting.com, my friends, check it out. Start saving money with Ting, and start saving money on the Xbox Series X by not buying a scalped one, but instead buying this apparently defective Xbox Series X that AMD apparently is selling in China at the moment. Here is a mini ITX system that, at least allegedly, according to the specs that they're stating in the slides, would be an Xbox Series X, but in a PC version. It has the same 8-core 16-thread chip that's in the Series X. It has the same 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory for the APU, and it appears like it's roughly the same specifications. Now, we don't exactly know what's going on here, and it's worth noting that this is called the AMD 4700S, which is not a Ryzen chip. It doesn't have the Ryzen branding. It's something completely separate, and who's to say whether or not this is the actual chip that's going in the Series X? All signs point to that. I will not be able to purchase one to let you know. This is the type of thing Linus Tech Tips does, so just look at his channel for him to drop that. And we've got pictures dropped of what's expected to be the RX 6900 XTX, the engineering sample being pictured as a liquid-cooled variety, which I actually think looks spectacular without the fans on that GPU block right there. You can see it doesn't come with a backplate, at least in this engineering sample. I sure hope that the final retail product would, but this is a beautiful looking card. The XTX obviously being slightly faster than the XT and might be liquid-cooled like we've seen with previous ones, like the Vega 64 and the Fury X and all of that. But there's some updates coming to old parts on AMD, at least thanks to ASRock, because there is a new bootleg firmware that brings Ryzen 5000 chip support to 6, yes, count them, 6 ASRock X370 motherboards. You can download that if you want. Links are in the video description to the article about that. And now it's time to be all about the GameStop Bitcoin update, because GameStop just going ham, 12% up yesterday. Heckin', just kerchewing, almost at $200 again. Why won't this thing die? Why won't it go to the moon? Why are we stuck in this middle ground of $170 GameStop? I don't know. But Bitcoin having a rough weekend. Currently it's sitting at $53,500, but over the weekend it spent most of it right below $50,000, at worst point cratering to $47,000. Almost worthless, my friends. An entire Bitcoin was almost worthless. But thankfully, now that Bitcoin's rebounded, your Commodore 64 might not be worthless anymore, because there is now somebody who put a video of them using their Commodore 64 to mine Bitcoin. It doesn't mine it very effectively, you probably won't earn anything, but it's possible. We'll leave links in the video description for you to check that out specifically. But I remember the good old days when gaming systems were about video games, not about Bitcoin or microtransactions, but EA has decided that that's all they want everything to be about, and that all roads lead to you paying them for FIFA Ultimate Team. This is coming from a leaked document from EA obtained by CBC News, which essentially says that the loot boxes are exactly what EA wants. It's the cornerstone, and we are doing everything we can to drive players there. All roads lead to FUT. FIFA Ultimate Team is what that means. Will drive excitement and funnel players towards FUT from other modes, and saying that FIFA's in-game currency is a grind currency. This is according to the CBC documents. EA has responded by saying, hold on, those are being viewed without context of how much money we're making, and also this is privileged and confident. You shouldn't be looking at this, okay? And we don't call it grind. That's not a term we typically use, okay? We say it, but we don't typically use it. We usually call it gamer stupidity because they're dumb enough to give us their money, but you know, we sometimes call it grind currency, okay? But that's not typical. It's not very typical that you get an update to your existing game system to make your games faster, but that's exactly what Microsoft's doing. Some good news, I guess, about EA. Microsoft's adding Xbox FPS Boost to 13 games from EA. You can see the list of the games available on the screen. Titanfall 2 getting it, which apparently Titanfall 2, at least according to one article I read, was the most played game on Steam this weekend. Why is everybody into that game all of a sudden? It's a great game. Why now? Speaking of great games that we're supposed to be, I don't know, why is everybody into these things? Cyberpunk 2077 apparently sold 13.7 million units in 3 weeks and only refunded 30,000 people, which only amounted to $2.2 million in refunds. However, according to CD Projekt Red's statements, they have allocated $53 million for anticipated refunds. Now, it's expected that that $2.2 million, or those 30,000 people, were through the program that CD Projekt Red set up themselves, where you had to go to them directly instead of getting a refund through game stores like the PlayStation and Xbox stores there. This was directly through CD Projekt Red, and that the total amount, once we all get that figured out, is going to be a massive amount of money. And TSMC is not afraid of spending a massive amount of money to make sure that they have water to make all of their chips. We've reported previously in an episode of Hot News that Taiwan is undergoing a historic drought, the worst drought in 50 years, and TSMC needs water to actually make things happen. They previously were bringing in water trucks, but now they're apparently developing their own water treatment plant to make sure that there's a smaller burden on Taiwan's water infrastructure moving forward. This isn't an immediate solution, but it's something that could potentially prevent even greater catastrophes in the future. And we're living in the future because Russia is developing their own B450 motherboards. Yes, I said it, Russia. B450, apparently they got a licensing agreement from ASRock to make this B450 motherboard with a TPM module for the Russian government, and now they're there. Russia's got AMD. What's going down? And we also got leaked pictures of the die of the RTX 3080 Ti, as well as some specifications and mining benchmarks in case you're interested in that. There's the RTX 3080 Ti. You can see here the benchmarks indicated as 12 gigabytes of VRAM, base clock of 1365, boost of 1665, and an Ethereum hash rate of 120 mega hash before driver optimizations, which is just absolutely bonkers. And what's bonkers, if you believe any launch date that's coming out about that. I've heard that these things were supposed to launch all the way since January, okay? But according to the latest rumor, it's May 25th, and that the 3070 Ti is supposed to come out in June. Stock that with whatever grain of salt you want. But while Nvidia is looking to update their currently existing graphics cards, Microsoft is looking to update their store by bringing a complete comprehensive store to Windows 10, which would allow you to buy everything on there. The store app is now not just gonna be for garbage apps you want, it's gonna be for everything. refresh coming soon. Expect that TBD. And it was TBD when we were gonna get the XG43UQ from ASUS, which is the 43-inch HDMI 2.1 monitor that they were supposed to be releasing, 4K, 120 Hz, all of that, 1000 nits brightness, good stuff. Now they're saying it's coming out in May. Those specs are just absolutely beautiful. Rumored price is supposed to be between $1,800 and $2,000, which is just a big hit on your wallet, which, let's talk about the Azza overdrive case, which, as you can see here, kind of looks like a V8 engine that sloped downwards a bit. It's a crazy concept case that Azza's putting out there, and it's a looker for sure, but it's also just gonna slaughter your wallet at $600. I had an Azza case. I had the Cube one that we did on the fancy PC build over on UFD Tech, and it sucked. It was not worth the $250 that I had to spend on it. Nope. No, thank you. Well, let's stop talking about things that cost a lot of money and let's talk about free updates to existing products again, because Oculus has released the Airlink software ahead of schedule. You can now connect your Oculus Quest 2 to your PC wirelessly a few days before they said that they were going to let you do that. And Sony's letting you now stream in 1080p on PlayStation Now. They have finally enabled 1080p streaming support. Is this because they're taking xCloud seriously? Are they taking Stadia seriously? Are they taking GeForce Now seriously? Are we actually gonna get a legitimate streaming service from PlayStation? Or is this just them throwing out the one last update to be like, we tried, okay? And then they're gonna kill the service in like 2 years. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that this is the end of the episode of Hot News. You can check out this video right over here in case you're wondering what's going on with this room setup, why I'm traveling, when's news gonna be back to normal. Go watch that video. I'll see you in the second episode of Hot News later today. Cheers, friends.